WMDSF Magazine.
This is WMDSF Magazine, and I'm here with the smooth lover of the Quiet Storm, Lenny Green. Yes, I did call you the smooth lover. Yes. How you doing today, Lenny?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Melanie. I appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine after you let us be on the radio show. I owe you a great deal for that.
No owe in the world, but I'm happy to be here on this show because you're bang booming.
Thank you.
You're really doing your thing, and you're getting a lot of exposure.
I appreciate that.
And that's a wonderful thing. I think that's the quintessential thing to anything that we venture on to do. And this is obviously your personal and passion and personal project. So I wish you continued success as we approach the new year. And I know everything is going to take it to the next level. So thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. I mean, you have all the history behind you. You know so many people. If I could only know as many people as you, maybe.
I'm sure you do. I've been watching. You can't let her fool you because I've been watching her postings, and your postings tell me that you know people. So nice try.
We're growing. We're growing. I just want to catch up with Lenny. So tell me, what got
Excuse
you?
me. I'm sorry. I'm doing a little Stogie. From time to time, I will do a little
cigar. He's
cigar
smooth.
thing.
It's a G thing, That's how it goes.
Okay.
So tell me, what got you into radio?
Friends in college. I went to Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn, New York. And upon going to Kingsborough Community College, when I went initially, radio wasn't even in my sight. My first love has always been singing.
Okay.
I don't sing a lick anymore.
Really?
Not at all. So when I got to college, though, that was my focus. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be the next Michael or whoever. So that was my focus, and because of friends encouraging me to go to the radio station and check it out, I eventually went. And when I went to the radio station, that's when I fell in love with just the ambiance and all the mechanisms of what radio was, because that was really my first time in a radio setting. And I must say, to give props to my alma mater, Kingsborough Community College, it should be a 4-year school, but it's a community college. I mean, the ambiance, you can't get any better location in Brooklyn, New York, than on a beachfront property. It has its own private beach. The technology or the equipment now in the radio stations, I just recently visited them, is better than the equipment at my station now. So anyone who's pursuing a career or want to pursue a career in radio or TV, and they live in the New York area, I would recommend them trying Kingsborough Community College because they have state-of-the-art equipment, wonderful instruction, and it captivated my attention and interest, and I could only imagine that it probably would captivate someone else as well.
So tell me, were you nervous the first time you were on radio?
Yeah.
What was it like having to plan everything out and knowing that if you mess up, it's on live radio?
That's the thing. It's all psychological.
Right.
Because, and it took me a while to understand this, at the end of the day, a radio personality, for the most part, is in a room by themselves with a metal object that comes down or comes across, and you talk into it. We really don't see the people we're talking to, but it's all psychological. So it was just a psychological thing, and because I was so a virgin to it, I was nervous as anything. But what I was taught early on, I was taught that you need to talk to people, one person. So I'm going to share something with you, Melody, that I don't share a lot with too many people.
Please do.
But I had an object, and it was a teddy bear.
Wow.
And I put the teddy bear in front of me. I ended up calling it Lenny Bear. The Lenny Bear character became a character when I was doing mornings in Connecticut radio. So I did mornings in Connecticut radio for a short period of time. And the bear had its own voice, and it became a part of my morning show. But it allowed me to talk to something that I thought was listening.
To you.
And that's really the trick to radio. If you can not, realizing, of course, you are appealing to a great majority of people at the same time.
Right.
But if you're listening in your car, that person's listening in their car, that person is in their car, I'm really talking to that one individual at all times. So I think that was a trick and the thing that I had to master along the way, and I think I've gotten the hang of it by now. But that was probably the hardest thing to get. But going back to your initial question, it was the nervous thing that I could. I mean, I can't.
I know I was nervous on your show, and I was like, man, I hope I don't mess up.
Oh, really?
I was
It was all psychological.
It is psychological because you're thinking there's no mute button, there's no rewind, you can't stop, there's no edit. It's straightforward and to the point. What you say is being heard by everybody on the radio.
Right, it is, and it is straight and to the point. And you, I mean, the nice thing about when you came, at least you had somebody to talk to, like
That's
you're
true.
talking to right now.
Like I had somebody to talk to. Yeah. You had
The
nobody
most
to
part,
talk to.
you know, radio personalities, we don't talk to people.
Right.
I mean, we don't see people that we talk to. We talk to people, but we don't see them.
You think that is why they kind of changed up the dynamics now that a lot of radio stations now have a group of people instead of just one person?
The group of people only mainly happens in mornings,
Right.
the morning drive and the afternoon drive.
Okay.
It doesn't happen in middays. It doesn't happen during my shift in the evening, 7 to midnight. It doesn't happen overnights. It doesn't happen on the weekends.
Right.
It's really on the two most important drives of the day for radio, which is morning drive and afternoon drive, where you feel you have the highest amount of listenership
Right.
throughout the course of the average radio station. So they bring teams around them because it kind of gels and gets
Right.
people
Gets it flowing.
gets it flowing. The energy is hyped up more because if you hear a lot of people on the radio goofing off or talking to people, it kind of
Gets
amps you up.
Exactly. That's
So
very true.
by the time I come on, it's all about
Relax.
relaxing. It's all about
Unwinding.
getting booed up, getting into that special moment with your baby. And
I wonder how many babies were made to Lenny
well, I
Green
don't
on
know.
the radio.
I don't know. But I know. I can promise you one thing though. I can tell you that, despite of having babies that were made while I was on, my name is not on the birth certificate. So I am not
We sure
responsible.
about that?
I'm positive.
We gotta check.
Nah, I'm not. I'm about. How can I be on?
You right.
And doing
Well, radio, we can't see nothing. I
pretty
mean,
good, though.
you never know, right?
That's pretty
So,
good.
Tell me, were you shy growing up as a kid?
I'm still shy, even
Yeah.
though a great majority of my friends may not think I am. Because most people meet me through my business,
Right.
meet me through radio, but I'm still shy. I have a, well, I can't name names because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
You don't want to name names?
But I have a variety of different, people,
Right.
close friends, who will debate you to no end and let you know that I'm not shy, but they really don't know. Now, when I'm in work mode,
Right.
I'm not shy.
Okay.
When I'm in Lenny mode,
A whole nother person.
whole other person.
So do you think that you have to put on a persona to be a radio personality?
I don't think I have to put on a persona.
Okay.
I think what naturally comes out is who I am.
Right.
But and because of who I am, I just kind of it's just hard. Radio has helped me in a great way.
Right.
It helped me become an extrovert as opposed to remaining an introvert.
Introvert.
So having said that, I just kind of just do what I do,
Right.
and I'm very happy in my skin, and I'm happy and thankful, and thank God for the opportunity for giving me the extra blessing, and for me to be doing and waking up every day with what I love to do. I don't like it. I love it. I love it.
That's the best thing.
And that's the best thing. But you know, I've been down that road. I've been down the road of not being in
But you
the
know how many
job.
people don't get to do that? Like they live their
I
whole
was that
life.
person.
Yeah.
I was
But you
that
at
person.
least got to eventually
God-
go into it, right?
I don't take God's blessings for
Yeah,
granted. by no means.
exactly.
And it has been really an interesting and very rewarding and very outstanding venture and journey. So I'm thankful for every opportunity that I get.
You have to be thankful for that, right?
Yeah.
So, who has been your favorite interviewee on the radio?
That's
I know
probably
it's
the
a hard
most difficult question. Yeah.
I know it is, but there
I mean-
has to be somebody who stood out.
Look, let me be fair. The business of this industry is built on legends.
Okay, so let me change the question. Who's the most interesting person?
That still is unfair. That's an unfair question because so many people have been interested.
Right.
But I'm going to go back to what I was initially going to say. The iconic opportunities that I've been given over the years, I can't
Just say it
replace
was me,
them.
Lenny. Just say it was me.
No, well I would say, and he's a very good friend. You know, since I've met him, a dear friend, Smokey Robinson is probably, you know, he's an icon, but
Right.
he's the most humblest man that you could ever meet, and one of our history's greatest songwriters of all time.
Right. That's true.
Greatest songwriters.
Smokey's a bad man.
He's a bad man. I mean, but just as bad as Neil.
Right.
You know, Neil is a great songwriter as well. So I would say I'm going to stay with the legends. I'm going to say Smokey Robinson. I'm going to say Luther Vandross. I'm going to say Patti LaBelle.
You interviewed her recently, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I hang out with Patti when she comes to town for shows, but yeah, anytime she wants to get on the air and she has to tell everyone about something, you know, she thinks of me, and we do what we do. But
have you been lucky enough to taste any of her home cooking?
I have not, and you know what, Patti, if you're watching this, I would love to.
I want some too.
After, I hear you. After the New Year, Patti,
yes.
if you would, because I'm on a diet right now.
See, she does diet foods now.
Well, yeah, because she's a diabetic.
Right, exactly.
But I'm on this 4-week diet, thanks to Dr. Ian Smith.
Oh boy.
New Year's Eve, for 2014. For those of you trying to get it together, he put me on the situation ahead of time.
We're doing a New Year's resolution, fitness edition actually, to get
really?
everybody, all of us, myself included, to lose weight for 2014.
So I'm going to say the same thing what he said to me. This is the last time I'm seeing the person I'm looking at.
Woo,
Because the next time I see you, you're going to be a different person.
He just sent chills through my body. Did y'all feel it? Because I felt it.
Hey, look, I felt it when it was said to me.
Oh, he's good.
I'm glad I saw you today.
Ian is good.
Because this is the person I would never see
That's
again.
the last time you see it.
That's what's up.
That's the last time you see it.
And we got it all on
Ian,
documented.
we need your help. I mean, the books is not enough.
No, but you know what? The book is, because obviously he can't clone himself.
Exactly.
But, you know, the crazy thing about it, it's not a hard diet.
Right.
But you do have to discipline yourself. You know, I'm a brown liquor dude initially. I can't have any brown liquor.
So what does he take out of your
He takes out a lot of sugar. And he makes you do two things. He makes you very conscious of when you start to eat and when you stop eating for the rest of the day, and your calorie intake.
That's important.
And on top of that, you have got to do cardio, because cardio burns the fat at the end of the day. So, you know, I'm kind of
I think that's what the problem most people have is the
cardio.
dedication to the exercise.
You got to know how to say no.
Yeah.
But ladies know how to say no most of the time, don't they?
Did he just put us on the spot?
I'm just saying,
Ladies,
you know.
did you hear Lenny say that?
I'm just saying.
I
ladies
think,
know how to
but
say
you know
no.
what? I think as humans that we all kind of get lackadaisical at times, and we'll postpone it. We'll say, I'll work out tonight. I'll work out in another 15 minutes. I'll work out. And you keep pushing it back and pushing it back.
You know what the trick is at the end of the day? The trick is, how much do you love yourself?
That's true. That's true.
My mom says there was a time when you would hear about old people dying. That time has changed. Now you hear just as many young people dying. And it's not just because of, you know, the illnesses and what's going on in our society and the streets. It's because of health issues and a lot of other things. So, you know, look, I pray that I can get to my mother's age and above. And she's saying she ain't leaving until she's 101.
I know that's
so
right. Go ahead, Mom.
I come from great stock, and I come from a woman who has a great deal of drive, and who I have a great deal of respect and love for.
That's what's important. So tell me, we all know that Mr. Lenny is smooth. How did the Quiet Storm get developed? How did it come about?
It wasn't through me. I can promise you that.
Was it all the radio stations?
It was. I'm going to give you the history.
Okay.
The history of the Quiet Storm format came out of Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
There's a gentleman that was on a radio station called WHUR, which is Howard University's radio station, and his name was Melvin Lindsay. Melvin Lindsay is really the godfather of the Quiet Storm format. I don't know how they decided to name it the Quiet Storm. Maybe it was just a conversation that they said, hey, let's just do it like this. But he was the first person in the entire country, before it even flared up, to do the Quiet Storm format. And if you ever go down to the nation's capital and listen to WHUR, you will hear them reference that, the Quiet Storm station, because they are the premier station that started it up. Now, I'm a Brooklyn boy, so growing up here in New York, I wasn't privy, and technology, when they started it up, wasn't where it is now, where we could even listen to other stations around the country. So I grew up listening to Lon Harper, who's my mentor, here in New York, an iconic figure, and he was the host of the Quiet Storm for years. And at the time when I was listening to him, I had no idea that I was going into radio. So I was just listening just to listen. But I'm standing on his shoulders just as quick and just as much as I'm standing on the shoulders of Frankie Crocker, another legendary voice here in New York. As much as I'm standing on the shoulders of Jerry Bledsoe, Jerry Bolden, who I'm saddened to say recently passed away from us. But here's a homework assignment for you.
I'm getting homework from Lenny Green.
You're gonna get a homework assignment. When you go back and listen to a song called "The Ten Commandments of Love," it's by a group called the Unifics. The gentleman at the very beginning of the song is Jerry Bolden.
Oh wow! So he was a singer?
No, he was a radio personality.
Oh wow!
But he
so
talked. He talked.
Okay.
They let him talk that
on
part.
The track.
That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
And I'll tell you where you can even find it.
Look it up.
There's a series of Hey Love. Every so often they put up these infomercials about CDs, just like new music for you to get. Just like they have the whole Soul Train series. Every so often they pop up the Hey Love series, which is nothing but like 70s iconic love songs.
Okay.
It's on that series. So either you can find it on your own.
That'd be a good Christmas present from Lenny.
It would be a good Christmas present, but again, you wouldn't learn your lesson of history of music if you don't find it and search it for yourself.
It would be right there.
See, that's the problem with the difference of generation, y'all.
Oh, we don't want to do the work?
There you go.
Yeah.
Y'all have to go to my look.
Guess what? We made it easy for everybody because now we could just Google it. And you could just go. Before we used to have to go to the library and look up stuff.
I'll give you kudos for that. Thank you very much.
Right?
Do the work.
The first thing Lenny did when I came in was open up his laptop. So look who's talking.
Hey, look, but you know what? I'm a Renaissance man. So I move with the time, and I try to stay on top of the time as much as possible. I think it's important for us to just, stay relevant.
You want to hear something I did Google though?
What?
I Googled that Lenny Green was interested in acting.
And still am. I still am.
Tell me about that.
You know what? It's the last little project I did was it's an independent film. It's called Less Than 12 Hours to Go, and it hasn't come out yet. I played the role of a news reporter, and it was nice. But I've always had a desire. I've taken improvisational classes for quite some time.
Wow.
So, and you know what? What I do every day, it's not phony, but it's theater.
Right.
It's theater of your mind. Radio is just theater of the mind because you can't visually see.
That's true.
But if you go back to the history of radio once again, radio was just a box, a wooden box from the images I saw, and the family would gather around and sit down and look at the box like they were looking at TV. I mean, that's
so true. My father told me stories like that. I'm like, I cannot envision looking at a box.
Right, exactly. So, it was all about you using your imagination. Right. And radio, still to this day, allows you to do just that.
Right.
So especially when I get on at night, because when I get on at night, I try to create an ambiance, and I try to picture a scene of what I would want to be in with a beautiful lady at the end of a long day. And we don't have to necessarily get into sex every night.
Right.
But no, I'm saying we don't have to do it every night. But that doesn't mean that you can't romance.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have lost that.
That's what I was going to say. I think a lot, especially in our generation, that doesn't exist anymore.
Y'all don't know about it.
They have no idea. And there's nobody to teach them. They don't have that.
Now unless they find, a distinguished gentleman.
Lenny's offering his services.
No,
I think you need to do
I'm not offering my services to anybody.
I think you need to
selective.
do something like Steve Harvey, where he's mentoring the youth, the brothers, and trying to teach them how to be a gentleman. Maybe that's something we could do in New York.
Maybe so. I think Steve Harvey's doing a wonderful job in doing that, and I commend him for doing, starting that mentorship, starting that camp. I think boys need that structure. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of young ladies, but I don't think there's a lot of opportunities for young men.
Right.
And we've lost a couple of generations. So by him doing what he's doing right now, I think that is quintessential. And I know Steve and I are supposed to be crossing paths, and I definitely would like to probably get involved with this camp. Because look, anything I can contribute. I'm in the process of getting involved with 100 Black Men, just to be a mentor, because to give you a little personal side, I didn't grow up with a father figure in the house, but that's why I credit all my mom for all the credit, because not only was she mom, but she was dad as well, and she held us down along with the rest of the family. So
where did you learn about being a gentleman?
Mom and my grandfather and my grandmother. Those were the three key people who, if I got out of line, they smacked me upside my head, And just an observatory standpoint, just watching my grandfather and how he interacted with my grandmother, you know, that was something that I just absorbed. Or maybe, and this is a little crazy now, but you know, images that what I saw, whether it was shows or theater, of how men treated women was always in a respectful way. But then I saw the other side of the coin. I saw the other side of the coin of how women were abused and how women were taken advantage of. I saw how, you know, my own family members, women were being abused. So I knew what I didn't want to do.
Right.
And I'm not a perfect guy by no means, but so, I am a respectful
So
guy.
if you could give advice to a single mom raising a boy, what would you say to her to help him to grow into a gentleman?
Well, one, just to develop that relationship. My mom took quality time out of her life to just devote and give me the attention. I think a lot of kids today are just lacking the attention. I think they want to be paid attention to. I think kids are resistant to attention because every kid, especially when they reach the teenage point, they think they're growing. But you know, you gotta know how to break that ass when it needs to be broken. You gotta do a Medea,
right?
When need be,
Lord.
You need to do a Medea. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying, look, I'm not for sparing the rod per se. I'm not saying abuse either,
right?
Because my mom always tells me, you know, when I was young, her zone was from my waist down to my ankles. So, you know, and look, I remember this one time, I think I threw a temper tantrum around 4 or 5 in the street. She didn't wait till I got in home. She took my pants down the street and whooped me there. And the cop came to her.
Oh no!
You know, and the cop said, "Why you beating him?"
Oh my gosh.
And she said, "So you won't have to live." And guess
see,
what?
That's right there.
Knock on wood.
He never
I don't
had
have
to.
a record.
Yeah.
I don't have a record. I'm clean. You know, I've never been in trouble with the law. I've been stopped by the police. That's probably because I'm black.
Exactly.
But you know, I've never gotten in trouble, and I never wanted to know about that. So
I need to
what
use
I would
that
tell,
quote.
what I would say to mothers is first build a bond, and the second thing I would say is you have to set a boy up with positive male role models around him. Get him involved with a mentorship program. Get him involved with some form of where positive male role models, because in all honesty, you know, it's harder every year, every day for women to raise a man.
Exactly.
It's really hard for a woman to raise a man. Yeah. I'm not trying to gloat, but I think I'm one of the last Mohegans where that has happened. I think women these days need to have men, positive men who are about substance, positive men who are about progressiveness, positive men who are about just exuding a respectful life. Right. Needs to be centered around young men. So get them involved with that kind of organization, right, where they can grow and develop as men, because you really can't raise a boy.
It's so true. It's so true. And then sometimes you have the men that do come into their lives, and they're the complete opposite of what image you want for your child.
Yeah, and ladies, you know, that's important as well. You know, not trying to tell you who to date or who to be with, but I think you need to let that be the far distant, in another world aspect of, you know, you dating the man, that's you dating the man. Your children are not supposed to date your man, because guess what? There's no guarantee that man's going to be in that child's life.
Yeah.
And you know, there was a time, I'm going to be honest with you, there was a time where I did not. If you told me you had children, I didn't want to be bothered with you. Then God had a way of molding me, and then I was accepting of women with children. I think I'm back at this level now. I don't want to deal with children. I don't want to deal with women with children. Because
too much baggage or emotional?
It's not, well, it's emotional baggage on both ends. Because what you end up doing, because you're around the woman, you bond with the child.
Right.
And if the bonding is good and strong, when the problems happens in the relationship, and now you have to distance yourself from the woman, you got to distance yourself from the child, out of respect. And I think that's just bad, because people coming in and out of the kid's life is not a good reflection on the kid emotionally and psychologically.
Exactly. I agree with that.
I'm not, if you have a child, ladies, you don't have to date me. I'm not interested in dating.
He's not interested in you. What if they're grown? Then it's different, right?
They have to be grown and out of the house.
Exactly.
You know, they can't, because there's some grown kids who still live in the house.
That's another topic altogether.
And you know what, look, my mama, I can tell you this, my mama, she's a saint in my eyes. And if I didn't have a place to live, my mom would take me in.
Right.
But, you know, I'm a mama's boy, but I'm an independent,
man,
strong man.
Exactly.
You know, so,
that's a smooth G for you right
I
there.
think I would just say I ain't dating women with children.
So Lenny's love. Okay, Lenny, you do love the ladies, right?
150,000%. Definitely.
Yes.
You know, can we define that? Because I don't want you to perceive me as a dirty old man. So can we just define that a little bit?
Yes,
All
we
right,
can.
so
Lenny.
young ladies, yes.
Okay.
Legal ladies, especially.
Yes. We must show ID
Definitely.
at the door.
Well, hopefully you don't have to show ID at the door. If you have to show ID at the door, maybe I can't take you out in
Wait
public.
a minute. There are some girls who are the age that look underage. Like Angela Yee. I love her, but she looks like she's about 17.
Angela,
She looks young.
is she single?
You know what? Everybody has asked me that.
Hey,
Can you look
Angela,
me up?
I know. She's that power 105.
She's pretty. Yeah, she's pretty.
Oh, I see.
And she looks young. So,
I
I
see
mean,
you. I'm
you don't
watching.
think you might want a card first? Check, make sure?
Nah,
Okay.
because you just threw her under the bus, whether you realize it or not. You threw Angela
It's okay.
underneath the bus because you said she
that's
looks
a
young, but she's
compliment.
not.
It's a compliment.
It is a compliment, but you threw her
Because you
under
know,
the bus.
black don't crack. You know, that's the
It
best
does.
thing.
I would know.
See? Hello?
I would know for sure.
So, would you ever settle down?
Oh, I want to.
You want to settle down?
Yeah, but you know what? Look, I tried to. Is that a better answer for it? I
Okay.
tried. You know,
Okay.
because
I respect that.
some ladies have a try to hurt us brothers and say, well, men are afraid of commitment. I have never been afraid of commitment.
Okay.
I've been engaged twice,
Ooh.
and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I definitely would love to settle
On
down.
your part, her part, or is it a combined
It
decision?
was, how can I say, the last part was her part. The last one was her part. The first one was my part
Okay.
because
You weren't ready?
I wasn't ready. She was 15 years my senior.
Get out of here. You had a cougar?
Yeah.
Ooh!
And
Lenny.
she had no children,
Okay.
and she was ready to have children, and I was
wasn't
just
ready.
breaking into the industry, so I wanted to grow my career.
Okay, Lenny. So did you get your heart broken
Oh yeah, on the first cougar.
on the first cougar?
Yeah, because you know, look, let me tell you how the story goes. A lot of young men. You have a son?
Yes.
How old is he?
10.
Okay, when your son gets to around 21, he's gonna start looking at older women.
Oh God. Please, Lenny.
Hey, look, I'm
No.
giving you the deal. I'm giving it to you straight.
Oh.
And that's gonna change as he gets older, and then it flips to a younger woman. But he's gonna because
Is that
guess
because
what?
you're looking for the experience? So you want
Because
somebody
you know
who
why?
knows
Because
what
the
they're
girls
doing?
around 21,
Okay.
well, they could be different today, but the girls around 21 when I was growing up, they weren't really of anything. They had, they're still living at home. You meet, I'll,
Put it
again,
out
I'm
there,
gonna
Lenny. Don't
give you
hold
my
back.
first
Don't bite
experience,
your
right? My
tongue.
first experience, she was 32, beautiful, 32, no children. Boom. Car, apartment, the whole nine. I was like, wow.
Oh my goodness.
And you're beautiful? Wow. That's all I can say.
Uh-oh.
So, Miss C, that's why I'm going to even say your name. Miss C, thank you
Wow.
for doing what you
So
did.
what
'cause you did
happened?
well, you know, look, you know what cougars do what cougars do. A cougar will take that youth, enjoy that moment, drain that moment on every given situation, and then after she finishes draining what she needs for a period of time, she's like, time to go.
Wow.
Meanwhile, you're left open, because chances are you probably never experienced anything like this in your life before, and you're just like,
You didn't know what to do.
you're like a deer in headlights, like, you don't know what to do.
How long did it take you to recoup from that? Or would you just on to the next?
3 months?
Like,
No,
okay.
no, it's about 3 months.
Okay. So, with all
I'm
the
giving you
hard...
a lot of exclusives. I just want you to know this. See, this
Lenny's so
magazine, this
honest with
online
me.
magazine is really getting a lot of exclusives.
Yes, you know what? I love him because he's honest, he's candid, he doesn't hold any bars, and that's what we love about Lenny.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell me, has the heartbreaks, including the cougar, has it shaped what you look for in the future? Has it
Yeah.
deterred you from maybe venturing out to certain relationships and opening up the way you would have in the past? Did it stop you from doing that?
Well, not eventually. Getting together with the cougar, it was an eye-opening experience. It was something that,
Wait, was she the only person to ever break your heart?
No. And you know, come on, Melody, you know how much you ladies break out.
Wait a minute, because guys break our hearts too.
Yeah, but every so often, you know, you have the innocent man like me that's come walking through the forest.
All innocent?
All innocent. And you cougars see good, young, fresh meat who don't know too much, and then you grab them. And then you manipulate.
Okay, so what happened when you started dating the younger girls, and now you became the wolf? Did you not tear some of them up?
Oh. Well, you know, it's important.
We gonna be honest, right?
It's important that you pass the blessings along. It's important.
So
I think,
the
and I hate to say this.
puppies.
I hate to say this. The young ladies who are dating the young guys, right? They're not getting a good experience of how to be treated, how to be treated as a lady,
Okay.
and more importantly, how to be loved as a lady.
Okay.
So I'm not putting it out there, but I'm just going to say it. I mean, I think, you know, obviously, being sensitive to age, I think, you know, ladies you shouldn't turn away an older guy. Obviously, you don't want to date grandpa, but you want to date a mature man.
I actually, ironically, met earlier today a famous musician. I'm not going to name names. He's 77 years old, and he just married a 25-year-old.
Wow,
So-
now see wait. That's grandpa. That could be great grandpa. I'm not saying go like that. And obviously he must have some good insurance, and
Wait a
he probably
minute.
has a good plan, and he probably has a great will, and she's probably trying to get on that will. I mean that's extremely over the top around the corner. Oh, and you know what? Was he single?
Was he single?
Is he single?
He's married to her. They're married.
Oh.
They are married. 2 years
Well,
now.
I guess you understand. 2 years?
2 years.
Oh, well, obviously he doesn't care.
He
No,
doesn't
he's
care.
at a moment where look. I
He's
mean,
happy. He said
and
he
that's
was
what I was going to say.
extremely happy.
He's at a moment, a point of his life where he's happy, he's comfortable. She's making him smile
Right?
a lot.
Isn't that what's important?
That is. And,
So
you know,
maybe he's making her smile too.
and he's going to make her smile even more. That's all I'm going to say
Hey,
down the road.
he knows what he's getting into, and so
He
does
knows.
she, right?
Yeah, he knows. I mean, but I'm not. That's excessive. I'm not saying, young ladies. I'm not saying you should go that old, but go mature.
I think so. So what are your turn-ons and what are your turn-offs?
Turn-offs. Turn-offs would probably be people with people who are not driven.
Okay.
People who are not spiritual. People who are lacking enthusiasm and appreciating life. Those are big major turn-offs. People who don't keep it sexy. I can't. You know, if you don't want to keep it sexy, that's cool. I don't have an 8-pack on my stomach either. But that's a turn-off for me. I need to be attracted to somebody.
Right.
And if I'm attracted to them, then I know I'm going to be there. Because I'm not. It's not all about the physical. And so let me clear that up, because I know how we got some haters that want to just get you at the jugular. It's not about looks, but let's be clear. You want to go home to somebody who you want to go home to somebody for. I mean, you want to. I want whoever the future Miss Green will be. I want her to be my wife, my lover, my stripper, everything, everything, and I want to be everything to her.
Right.
So I'm not one-sided. I need to be able to fulfill my dreams and fulfill her wishes as well.
The topic that happened when we were at Circle of Sisters, and you were on the panel with Tamar and Eric Benet, the journalist, T.J. Holmes.
T.J. Holmes. He used to be with CNN.
Right, and one of the actors from The Wire. There was a young lady in the audience who was opposed to the fact of keeping a man's belly full and his penis empty. And he got upset, and he said, well, do you have a man?
Right. I remember that.
And she obviously didn't. So how do you feel about the fact that a woman is supposed to it? Do you think, I mean, in this day and age, do you feel that it's okay for her to be balanced with the fact that she goes out as a working woman,
Yep.
doesn't necessarily have to come home to cook for her man, or maybe they change up the roles, vice versa? What do
The
you think?
institution of marriage involves two people, and in these days and times right now, it requires. I mean, it's wonderful if one person can work,
Right.
and it doesn't put a strain on the relationship. but in most cases these days, two people have to work. And maybe you meet somebody who's career driven. So I don't think you should hold back or have that person refrain from doing what they do, because you want to make them happy as well.
Right.
I think it's a balance. I think, what we've gotten away from is supporting each other in great ways. Don't get me wrong, filling the belly and emptying his penis is also a wonderful thing, and I think
Right.
that's important.
Right.
And as much as sex is not the thing solely that holds a relationship together, it is the most important thing that has to stay together, because if sex is not in that relationship,
It's not going to work.
that relationship is going to start crumbling.
Exactly.
I'm not an expert. Let
No,
me
it's
just
true. I
say
mean,
that.
on both sides, for women and for men. I mean, if the sex isn't happening, she's going to look elsewhere as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
I could be
It's
wrong.
important
If
for
look, if
all
I'm wrong, please somebody let me know.
Let me know too. Send
Yeah,
it to
okay.
www.wmdsfbag.com. We want to know, because I definitely think it's important for everybody.
And-
I mean, the amount may not be the same for everybody, but
Right.
it's necessary to have it at some point in time.
I need the amount. But
What is the amount for Lenny Green?
hey, look, that's another story for another show.
No, this is the show. We promised each other
Well,
that
hold
it
on,
was
let's
going
finish
to be.
that. That's why I had said to you a little while ago, when you asked me what kind of woman, I like a woman who's driven.
Right.
A woman who's career driven. A
Right.
woman who wants to have something out of her life. I want somebody who's busy, because you know what they say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
is so
So if
true.
you're sitting at home twiddling your thumbs, the least bit thing, the card is turned over the wrong way. That's going to turn into an argument.
That's so true.
I parked a certain way. I have a sparkle on my face. That's going to turn into an argument. Exactly. Which I may have one right now. That may turn into an argument. So the least bit thing, the adversary is always working. And give him a minute to kind of maneuver his way in there, and he'll maneuver his way in there. So I think if you're busy working on your career and things are occupying your life, and I'm busy working on my career, and we're both there to support each other, I think that's important. But I have no problem with a woman wanting to do something. I mean, and make something out of her life, because I want to be proud of her. I want her to be proud of, more importantly, of herself.
Right.
Because if you're not proud of yourself, how can you be proud for me? How can
Exactly.
you be proud of anything?
And she might resent you for it.
And that's the one thing I will never do. I will never hold back somebody from wanting to do something, whether it's
Exactly.
a career or even wanting to move away.
Right.
I've seen a couple, a very good couple, a friend of mine. One was an opera singer, and the other one was in my business, a radio. And I remember I was in their house one time, and she had moved to be with him from a job in radio. And they had gotten into a little, not argument, but disagreement. And she kind of put on the table, and obviously, if I'm telling you this, it never left my mind. She says, "Look, I gave up my career to come to you." And I was like, that ain't good. because
That is never
because
good.
obviously she
No.
never forgot it,
Yep.
and
she's gonna
that
live
was
with
a
that
trump
for the
card.
rest of her
Right.
life.
So
Yep.
she's like, I gave up my, and then what
And
happened?
there's nothing you can do.
That relationship ended up breaking up
Exactly.
a few years later.
Because she's always gonna hold that against him. I moved for you.
That will never happen with Lenny Green. Nope. You got a career. I'm happy. I want you to have a career. You need to have a career. It's quintessential for you to have a career if you're with me.
Oh my God.
Quintessential. If you don't have a career,
It's time to move.
I can't.
You can't have
I can't even have a cup of coffee.
Damn. So no kids. And you gotta have a career. You gotta
Have a
be
career.
driven.
Yep.
All right.
But you gotta be able to have kids.
Oh jeez. You asking for a lot, lady.
Hey, look, I have high standards.
That's true. Hey, what is it?
Do you know?
He knows what he wants.
Do you know who I am?
Yes. We know who you
No,
are.
no, no. You really don't. I'm a son of a king.
I know that's right.
So if I'm a son of a king,
That means
I
you're a
do have
prince.
high standards.
That's right. That's true.
I'm going to bring something to the table and got to be held accountable for it. What do you think you have to do?
She has to be a queen too, right? Look at the OG.
Yep.
So let me ask you a dating question that we had posted on our website.
Uh-oh. I probably didn't see this one.
If a lady is feeling a guy and they are in a casual relationship, that's the key right there. They're in a casual relationship.
You got to define that a little better.
Well,
What's casual?
Casual means that there is no commitment to one another. They're having fun.
They're just dating.
They're dating. Casual dating. Remember we
For
had
how
this,
long?
We had this conversation.
All right, but how?
but,
You got to give me some filters. For how long? Casual
can-
dating, how long?
let's say
Couple of
it's
months?
new. It's
Oh,
new.
a couple of months.
Yes. What should she do to get him to take her more seriously if she wants more? Now, in the beginning, they never said they were opposed to being in a committed relationship, but they started off as a casual.
You started off casual,
Right.
and you should.
Right.
I don't think you should meet guy, girl, and fall into a relationship. That was probably one of my early flaws.
Okay.
I think what you have to do, obviously, it can't be all about sex.
Right.
But the sex has to be good. But no, it can't be all about sex. If it's about sex, it's not going to last.
Right.
It's going to be just that.
That's that.
So hopefully, before the sex happens, this is very important, before the sex happens, hopefully you see the potential in this person. You see the quality of person in this. It's still casual, so you don't know this person very, very well.
Right.
But hopefully you see the potential of what's to come. Pay attention to his relationships in his family, especially his mother and father, if there is either party.
Do you think it's fair to judge off of that? If, let's say, a guy comes from, a broken family, do you think that
I came from a broken family.
Right. So do you think it's going to be, you said pay attention to the relationship.
Pay
So
attention.
do you think it's going to be a predictor of how he's going to be in a relationship?
We are all reflectives of our environment.
Right.
The last time I checked, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So, you're not a carbon copy of
Of the
people.
parents, right.
But you got to look at the relationships around him. You got to look at the relationships of the various friends that he might have in his circle. See what kind of people he rocks with. Are they quality people? Are they ratchet?
We
It
see
makes a
lot of
difference.
that
It really makes a difference because then you can understand him as a person.
Right.
So before you ask that question of should I take this, because it's a casual relationship, and that's the problem that women make so quickly. They rush, even though they're not rushing, they're rushed to try to get to first and second base without paying attention to the early signs of what's going on around them, because you can't I don't know if you really fully get to know a person from beginning to end, especially in the very, very beginning. But you can kind of pay attention to the circle and the quality of people that can circles him, because obviously if you're my best friend and we're around each other
all the time.
a lot, you must have a character that I'm attracted to,
Right,
that we
that's
bond
similar.
well with.
Right.
All of my friends who are close to me, they have similar characteristics, and you could tell how they are based on the quality of person they are.
Right.
That's reflected for me, because obviously I appreciate that, and that's why I allow myself to be around them, and that's why we bond well. And it's even the people in the industry. People who are really down to earth in the industry, I got a great relationship with. People who are plastic and phony, that's not me.
I'm saying.
So, I don't know if I answered your question precisely, but if she wants to make it serious, I would say first, take your time. You just met the dude.
Right.
Give this dude, before you take it serious, I say give him 364 days from that first day you met him. And I promise you that you'll meet a different person on the 364th day. Because by then, you would have seen a great majority of his personality on many different levels.
Right.
And you would have had an opportunity to see how he is as a person, how he treats people, and if you really want to be involved with this. And if you don't really want to be involved with it, well, ladies, how y'all do. Y'all do what y'all do. Y'all, you know what, ladies.
Wait, guys do it too, though. Guys do it too.
We may do certain things, but trust me when I tell you, we don't do it as good as you.
Really? Or because you guys not as slick? You think we're slicker than you? Is that what it is?
Slicker than grease.
Oh my goodness.
You know that.
All right. I'm not
Melanie,
gonna, I'm
except
not gonna
okay,
steal.
present company excluded. Is that
Okay,
that's a good
that works.
disclaimer? Even though I don't believe it. But
Really?
really, I think at a time in your
See how
life before you came to the level of status
We kind of
where
talked
we
about
are
this
right
on
now,
the radio.
you probably was just as slick as grease as well. Look, ladies, I'm not faulting you. I'm just saying you are very good at what you do.
We're going to speak on that in another conversation. We're going to move on from that.
Okay.
Do you consider yourself an old school gentleman or a modern man?
Both. I'm a Renaissance. So I'm an old school gentleman
Mixed with
mixed with a new man.
Okay. How do you feel about your woman being the breadwinner in the household? Is that a threat to your ego?
Not to me. The more money, the better, baby. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She has to be driven.
Right.
If she's driven, I'm excited.
Right. That
look, I
motivates
need you to have that
do
money. Yeah,
more.
have that money, because guess what? I don't need to be doing this. I know I'm the man, but I don't need to be going like this all the time. Do I have to pull out the money all the time? I don't want to pull out the money all
That's
the time.
true.
Can't you pull out the money?
That's true. But how do you feel about, because there was a question that came up. When you go on a first date with a woman, like an official first date, do you think that it's okay for the woman to pay, or is it better for the man to pay on the first date?
The way society builds us, it's ideal for the way society is. They want the man to pay.
Right.
Men love gestures, even if we do pay.
Okay.
Ask at least to know, and a lot of women won't agree with this. I know you're not going to. Some of you are not going to do this, but just say, as a courtesy, "Are you okay?
Right.
Do you have it?" That goes a long way with a guy. A lot of ladies look at men with wrong intentions, through smoke and mirrors. And y'all sometimes have your own private agenda that we don't even know about.
That's right.
And sometimes, some guys, especially wise guys, they know about your agenda that you're doing, but they just kind of go with the flow.
With it.
But you know that you're in there just for the fact that he drives a nice car. You know that you're in there just because you know he has 6 figures. You know that you're in there because of what lavish things he likes to give you. And you're just dealing with the circumstances until you get tired of dealing with it. Then you're going to push off and do something else. So, one of my best friends, his name is Joe Harmon. He says the way you start is the way you finish.
That is
So
true.
at the end of the day, look,
Yep.
you're gonna get what you're gonna get, but realize if you want to sit down and you want to play at the table with sharks,
Know that you're gonna get bit.
you could get bit along the way. Now, if you don't mind bleeding, or you're just that kind of freak, that's cool too. Because
Some
I know
people do
some
like a
ladies.
little S&M.
Yo, I do know some ladies who like to get bit, and I could be just the wolf to bite. But hey, that's
You
the way it
doing
is.
some biting, boy. What's the one thing Lenny Green can't live without?
I can't live without ice cream, but I've learned to live without ice cream.
Is that the one thing?
No, I mean, the one thing I can't live without is having God a part of my life. That is the most important thing, because I wasn't blessed to have a physical father, but I have one of the best fathers that anyone could ever ask for. So that's the one thing I cannot live without, God being in my life. And I'm not holier than thou. I don't walk a straight line. I do wrong just as much as I try to do right, and I'm still trying to work and getting myself together at the end of the day. So I can't live without God in my life.
I know that's right. That's the one whole thing that has kept everybody grounded.
Yeah.
At the
Well,
end of the day.
I only know
For
about
yourself.
me,
Yeah, I'm the same
myself, and I. And I know, you know, there's a record out right now, and depending on when you're looking at this, you can pull it up. It's by Kim, Patti LaBelle, and Ronald Isley. And it's a real easy record. It's called Jesus. And that record really touches my soul every time, because it's reflective of, if I had thoughts, if what I want to say or to someone on what Jesus means to me, it would be reflective in that song called Jesus. Kim, Ronald Isley, and Patti LaBelle.
Wow.
Listen to it.
I gotta hear that one.
Yep.
More homework for me to do.
More homework. You got. I hope you have a 5, category book that you could start jotting down your stuff in.
All right, I have one more dating question for you. So, if a man cheats on a woman and the woman decides to take him back, do you think there's a small part of that man that has lost respect for her for taking him back after what he did, or sees her as a step over
You know,
because of it?
no. I think a lot is weighing on it. I think he has a lot to live up to, because for her to regain her trust. Because see, when you step out of a relationship, trust is like a piece of thread, and if that thread is broken, it's hard to get that back. And a lot of guys, you know, the fellas who are watching us right now, he knows that if his woman stepped out on him, the chance of him taking her back is slim to none in most cases, but it has happened.
Right.
But if a woman decides to take you back, I think you have a lot to live up to, and obviously a lot to gain her confidence back. I don't think it demeans the woman in any way, shape, and form. I think it really reflects her love, obviously, and admiration for this man, that she really wants him a part of her life. But she really has to do a self-examination before she allows herself to take him back. And she has to really evaluate, is it worth it? The value of where the relationship is, and the potential. I mean, you really have to, because, you know, look, depending on what kind of creature he is, you know, some guys knows how to flatter beyond flatter and make you think that these chairs that we're sitting in is gold and velvet crushed. And for those who know how to play the game like that, cool, but know who you're playing with, and be, you know, be honest with nobody but yourself at the end of the day.
Do you think once a cheater, always a cheater?
No,
You
I don't.
think you can be reformed?
I think you can be, but it can't be the other person.
Right.
That person in themselves has to be willing to change.
Right.
You know, if that person isn't willing to change within themselves, it's never going to happen. You may want it to happen. Their family may want it to happen. I've heard of people, you know, they got real close to the guy or to the girl, and either one, because ladies do cheat. We did talk about that. Ladies cheat, but they got real.
Throwing ladies on the bus.
No, I'm just keeping it real. That's all I'm doing. I'm just exposing y'all.
Right,
You know,
that's true.
take it off.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot my point.
See,
My
he
point
getting
was.
ready to throw us under the bus, and he forgot his.
No, I wasn't going to throw you on the bus. But the bottom line is that, you know, it's a sensitive area. It really is a sensitive area. I'll stop it.
Okay, so to wrap it up, where does Lenny see himself in 5 years?
I see myself in a radio perspective in 5 years, probably in 60 markets around the country, because The Quiet Storm with Lenny Green is a syndicated show. So I see myself having a wonderful kickoff to a television career. I see myself in 5 years finding a good relationships that I'm settling down into. In 5 years, looking for the next level. I think I have a strong adrenaline. I'm a beaver, so I'm always working at trying to do something. I don't wait for opportunity to come. You know, I think. Well, yeah, I think it's important for us to, you know, we all say, I'm waiting on God, but I think God wants us to be doers. He wants to see how proactive you are. You could be waiting on God, and He understands that. But I think He wants to see, well, what kind of assertiveness do you have? What kind of, you know, goals are you trying to reach? What kind of effort are you trying to make in trying to reach your goals? And I think if He sees those qualities in us, I think He will, and we're really sensitive to living our life the way He wants us to. I think He will grant us those opportunities and those blessings. I could tell you that I'm living my dream. I'm living the life that I asked God for me to live. I dreamt that I had the job before I had the job. So I see so much for my future. I don't see an end in no time soon. Obviously, we're all destined to leave here just as much as we are here right now. But, you know, I see myself just embracing my family, and in 5 years, my mom is 88 now, so she'll be like 90-something in 5 years. And, you know, I want to be able to give her, I can't give her everything of what she's given me, obviously, but if I could just give her a little, and just have her like, you know, look, spend your winters in the warmest weather, travel. I can afford a person to be her companion and travel with her, and I'll meet her up with her on certain occasions. That, you know, that would bring me joy. Bringing me joy would be bringing my mom and my family happiness, and making sure they're happy. Because at the end of the day, if I make sure other people are happy, I'm going to be happy. We're all here to do something, and I'm here to pass blessings along and to help people.
Exactly. So for Lenny Green, what's your New Year's resolution? Aside from the weight loss, we know
Yeah,
that.
you know what? Weight loss, maintaining my health is key. To just be a better person, and work harder in advancing my life and praying a lot, because that's the only way my advancement in life has come, you know, in prayer. So New Year's resolution, just to be a better person at the end of the day. And if I'm a better person, I can assure you that people around me, you know, will feel that love.
Exactly.
So I pray for that.
Well, thank you, Lenny. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very
Always
much. I
good
appreciate
talking
it.
to you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. May
And
God bless
many
you.
blessings in 2004.
And you know what? This is going to be a blessing right now, and
Yes,
I'm
it
speaking
will.
this into existence, that this will definitely take you to the next levels of where you want to go.
Exactly.
You just stay
We're
true
going to
and
do it
passionate.
together, right?
No question. No question. Now, when you if you should surpass me along the line, and I don't get an interview at that stage, well,
we're going to take you with us. Don't worry,
okay,
Lenny.
because
We're going to take you with us.
I just say I'm from Brooklyn.
Yes. Brooklyn is where it's at.
I know how to
started
get
in
ratchet when I
Brooklyn,
need to
too.
get. You know what I'm saying?
I was born in Brooklyn too, so
Oh,
Brooklyn
you
raised
were?
up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what's up. You know, you don't live in Brooklyn no more, huh?
Listen, we're not gonna talk about that. That's a whole
it is
nother
what it is.
topic. That's a whole nother topic. Okay, Lenny Green, The Quiet Storm, 107.5.
And you know what? It's on WBLS in New York. But please make sure you follow me on Twitter at Lenny Green, on Instagram at Lenny Green, on Facebook, Mr. Radio Lenny Green. Just stay connected to me. And if you become a part of my text club, more importantly, my text club is really easy. Just text the word Lenny, Lenny, to 55469. And that way you stay abreast of everything that I'm doing all around the circle. And those of you in 2014, get ready. We're doing a few Caribbean trips. That's all I'm going to say.
Can I come too?
Most definitely.
We're gonna be there.
Ladies, bring the bikinis, but be able to wear them.
Take care.
WMDSF Magazine.